Hi everybody, we're in Daviess County, not too far from Far West and Adirondack, and this is about the midway point. And I recently found out that approximately right here is where the City of Seth would have been. So just a couple months before the Saints were driven out of Missouri, there was going to be this City of Seth, and the location was identified by the prophet Joseph Smith, and they were going to build a temple here. And I just have a few things I want to share with you. I'm going to do some reading. Now, as far as the location goes, I'm going off of what was published in, there's this series of books called Sacred Places, and it's a multi-volume set, and one of them is for Missouri, published in 2004, and it's by Lamar C. Barrett. I feel like if you're really serious about church history, you probably own these books. They are an incredible resource, just full of information. I don't even know how he put all that together, frankly. But I went off of the directions that he gave. I'm actually walking toward the intersection that was kind of described in the book. He said go on County Road J. I think it was like 3.7 miles. And this road that I'm on right now is called Unity, and it intersects with County Road J at about that point. So we're in the approximate location. There is another location near here. It's called the Littlefield Halfway House. So that was where Joseph Smith and his party, they kind of used the halfway house. If I'm understanding this correctly, they used the halfway house as like a rest stop between Far West and Adirondack, as they were, I guess, as Joseph Smith was receiving revelation, or they were using it as a spot to rest as he was about to identify the spot for the City of Seth. Okay, so I have a few things to read. This one, you can find this on the Joe Smith papers. This is from Journal, March through September 1838. And this was also published in History of the Church. Volume 3, pages 67 to 68. Okay, so this is one account of what happened. I'll let this truck go by first. Okay, Saturday, September 1st, 1838. The first presidency with Judge Higbee as surveyor started this morning for the halfway house, as it is called, kept by Brother Littlefield, some 14 or 15 minutes from Far West, directly north, for the purpose of appointing a city of Zion for the gathering of the saints in that place, for safety and from the storm which will soon come upon this generation, in that the brethren may be together, and that they may receive instructions to prepare them for the great day which will come upon this generation as a thief in the night. Okay, so in this account, it calls it a city of Zion because all of them are cities of Zion, including Far West. Not the city of Zion, like the New Jerusalem, the center stake, but a city of Zion. Okay. Then I'm going to skip down a little bit. But to return again to our subject, we found the place for the city, and the brethren were instructed to gather immediately into it, and soon they should be organized according to the laws of God. A more particular history of the city may be expected hereafter, perhaps at its organization and dedication. Okay, so these are the words of Joseph Smith. Okay, as far as I know, they did not start the city. I don't think there were any structures. All that happened was that the location was identified. Okay, now, how do we know that it's called the City of Seth? Well, we have this letter from Albert Perry Rockwood He later became a president of the 70. And this is a letter from him to Sister Vos, or Voss, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The 15th of October, 1838, Monday. The brethren have all returned from DeWitt. By the way, I have a video of DeWitt. There's a plaque there. Make sure to check out that video. The mob is now assembling again in Daviess County. They have sworn in their wrath that every Mormon shall leave the county. Adam and Seth are one stake of Zion and will not be so easily surrendered. Seth is 12 miles from this place. A meeting was called this day to make arrangements for the defense of the brethren in Daviess County. Our lives, honor, and fortunes are pledged to defend the Constitution of the USA and our individual rights and our holy religion. The strong bands of union appear to... Okay, I'm running out of breath. I'm like doing all this walking these days. I've got some weight that I need to lose, so this is good. But walking, hilly terrain, being fat, reading from your phone as you're recording with a GoPro, it's kind of a lot to do. The strongest bands of union appear to be wreathed around the heart of every man and woman. Come life or death, come what will, here we stand or here we die, is the will of the Lord. Here the hoary head, sire, and the stripling youth gird on their armor, and for the field prepare. Death appears to have lost its terror among the armies of Israel. Okay. And now, a more recent account or publication having to do with the City of Seth. This blew me away. This is actually how I found out about this place. I was preparing for a video on my other channel on something just completely unrelated, and I stumbled upon this. Check this out. So this is from Church News, August 30th, 2003. The name of the article is This Week in Church History, and this is from 25 years ago, meaning 25 years before 2003. President Spencer W. Kimball, accompanied by his wife Camilla, returned to the sites of many historic events in early church history with a visit to Missouri, September 1st through 3rd, according to the September 9th, 1978 Church News. The article reported, quote, with pages of history linking the past to the present, President and Sister Kimball and their party visited the temple site in far west Missouri, the hills and valleys of Adam, excuse me, the temple block in Independence, Missouri, and the jail in Liberty. An added bonus was visiting the area believed to have been the location of the City of Seth, designated by the prophet Joseph Smith as a place of refuge for the saints. Also during the trip, President Kimball dedicated the new Independence, Missouri Stake Center and spoke at a fireside in Kansas City. So, I'm of the opinion that we're going to see this city built in the future, and then we're going to see that temple as well. So, that makes, as far as I'm concerned, that makes 4 future Missouri temples that have yet to be built. The temple in Independence on the Temple Mount, or sorry, the temple lot. We're going to see that temple too in Jerusalem. I don't know if it'll be on the temple lot or somewhere else, but we'll see a temple in Old Jerusalem. But anyway, back to Missouri. The temple at the temple lot in Independence, the far west temple, the temple of Adam. There was a temple block that was dedicated by Brigham Young when they were laying out the city. And now this one in the City of Seth. Now, one more thing I want to say about the City of Seth, and I don't know if there's any more information out there about it. I mean, again, the location was designated, and then just a couple months later, that's when the Saints were driven out of Missouri. So I don't think there's that much. But I'm thinking that it was called Seth for a reason. We know that the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri, right? In Independence. After Adam and Eve were driven out of the Garden of Eden, they came up here to Adam-on-Diamond, and this is where they dwelt. We know that, well, I'm going to read it right now. Far West also has a history that goes beyond just this dispensation, all the way back to Adam and Eve. So what I'm going to read to you, this is President Alvin R. Dyer, counselor in the First Presidency. You can find this on the University of Virginia's website for Mormon Studies. David O. McKay Diaries, 1966, June through September. Ledger 85. Gregory A. Prince, Mormon Studies Collection. And by the way, I'll put all these references in the description box below in case you want to look it up yourself, add it to your documents, your studies. Okay, Wednesday and Thursday, June 1st and 2nd, 1966. Supplement to the journal record of visit of President David O. McKay to Adam-on-Diamond. Far West. In connection with President McKay's visit at Far West on the date given, it is to be noted that while there, the president appeared somewhat overwhelmed. The place made a deep impression upon him, so much so that he referred to Far West a number of times in the ensuing days as a place of deep impression. The feeling that President McKay... Okay, let me stop for a second. Oh my gosh. The feeling that President McKay had at Far West registered upon me once again, but now with greater impact. The events that transpired there are significant. The Lord proclaimed Far West as holy and consecrated land unto him, declaring to Joseph Smith that the very ground he stood on there was holy. B. The prophet Joseph Smith contended with the devil face to face for some time upon the occasion of the power of evil, menacing one of his children in the prophet's home just west of the temple site. Lucifer declared that Joseph had no right to be there, that this was his place, whereupon the prophet rebuked Satan in the name of the Lord, and he departed and did not touch the child again. C. The overwhelming feeling that President McKay had when he visited the sacred place. The answer? I've often pondered the holy significance of Far West, and even more so since President McKay's visit. The sacredness of Far West, Missouri, is no doubt due to the understanding that the prophet Joseph Smith conveyed to the brethren at these early times that Adam-on-Diamond, the place to which Adam and Eve fled when cast out of the Garden of Eden, is where Adam erected an altar unto God and offered sacrifices, and that Far West was the spot where Cain killed Abel. This information tends to explain why the Lord declared Far West to be a holy, consecrated place, and no doubt explains why Satan claimed that place as his own, as it was here that he entered into a covenant with Cain, resulting in the death of Abel, the first of mortal existence upon the earth. It would appear that President McKay, while there, felt the spirit and the significance of this holy place. So, with that being the case, I wouldn't be surprised to find out at a future date that Seth actually lived here. Maybe there was some significant occurrence during the life of Seth in this place. But I guess we'll have to see. As far as I know, there are no church markers here, memorials, or anything like that. Maybe there will be someday in the future. I've heard from a couple people that there might be somebody that I can meet with that has like documentation as to where the city would have been. And if I, you know, connect with that person, maybe I can go to wherever that location is. But, you know, a city is a large geographic area. It's not just like, you know, right here, and this would be the entire city. So I'm willing to bet that I'm probably within the boundaries of the city of Seth. But it's right here at this intersection. This is basically what was described in that book I was talking about earlier, Sacred Places, Missouri. So I don't know. If you know where I can find a better location, please let me know. Email me. If you know somebody that knows, see if you can get me in contact with them, because I would love to take a better video, or more like a video closer to where like the town square would have been, if that's known, where the temple would have been. Okay, but that's gonna be it for this one. I'll talk to you guys later.